Greetings, beloved beings of light. Happy Equinox portal. Hope your day is most beautiful and blessed. I wanted to create a very special transmission for all of you for this very sacred day of this equinox, this time of equality, of equilibrium, of balance. Today we shift from the energies of Pisces, of the waters, into Aries, the fire, the ram. We have massive energies coming through this gateway. This is celebration of the sun, halfway, reaching its halfway point between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer, between the solstices. So the equinox, as the sun follows this path between the tropics, the Tropic of the South and the Tropic of the North, halfway through, as the equal point, the equinox. And it's also equal day and equal night. It's the balance of the yin and the yang, the eagle and the condor, the fire and the water. So we shift into this zodiacal new year. Aries, the baby of the zodiac. My sacred condor is Aries. And this is the I am presence. Symbolic of the I am in the zodiac. So you see the sun rising on the equator. You see the equator separates the earth in half. It's the central channel, the center point. The latitude of the earth is the equator, and then the longitude, halfway point, is the prime meridian, So where these 2 points cross over, these 2 lines, latitude, longitude, it is the 0 point of the earth. There's actually a little island where the 2 cross. It's southwest of Africa in the ocean. There's actually a little island there called Null, N-U-L-L, Null Island, null like void, because this is 0 point, the void point, the singularity, the center. So we have the sun reaching this central channel, the center point in its journey north and south. So many of us feeling into this void energy, this emptiness, this stillness. As the water shift also, we're shifting through this great shift of the ages from the Kali Yuga into the Satya Yuga. You see, but what we're doing through this greatest shift of all ages, this transformation, never to fall from grace again. You see, this isn't a new age where it's only going to be, another 2,000 years of peace and joy, golden age. We are actually entering through the final 0 point into the timelessness. You see, this is the eternal golden age. You see, once the mind fell into the illusion, all for the purpose of waking up, the joy of waking up. You see, we chose to fall asleep. We chose to navigate through the amnesia programs of the forgetfulness for this time of remembrance. And it was all for a higher purpose. You see, we went from the unconscious state into the consciousness so that we could experience all that duality can bring, all form from the formless, for the purpose of the evolution of consciousness. You see, from the stillness into form, from the silence into sound, and through the sound, through these millions of years of consciousness evolving, the evolution into unity consciousness. So we return fully awake, fully aware. It is what we call eternal bliss consciousness, the pure land of new earth, 5D, whatever name you want to give to heaven on earth, which is symbolic of bliss, of love, of joy, in a conscious state, being awake and aware. What good is bliss? What good is love? What good is joy? If you're asleep, you don't even know you're experiencing it. So we came into consciousness. We made the greatest sacrifice. We could have stayed in nothingness forever. We could have stayed in the void, but we chose, as warriors of the light, as spiritual warriors, to go through this most chaotic node as this shift from the darkness into light, from the Kali Yuga into the Satya Yuga. And this is a major anchor point, this equinox into tomorrow on the 21st. This will be put out on the 20th. Today is the day before the equinox. I'm filming this so that I can get this out to you tomorrow. I can edit, upload, and do all these things so I can release this on this most sacred portal, this most sacred gateway of the new earth. So tomorrow, 21st and the 23rd, the portal of the sacred condor, 323, the 323 as the full culmination. You see, this equinox gateway is a catalyst for this great shift, and this will look different for all of you. You're all going to experience your own reality based on your own perception and what the new earth means to you and what the great awakening means to you and this ascension. So today, as I've been preparing for tonight's transmissions, takes me all day to prepare and then several hours to record, edit, upload for my daily transmissions. So as I was preparing today, something very interesting, many things are coming through, many things as I prepare for our transmission. And one of the New Earth scribes was talking about this DNA transformation. And she talked about what's called the Tata box, the Tata, which I thought, I've never heard of this. It's in the DNA. That's very interesting. I never heard of this. I looked it up to make sure, if I'm not sure about something, I do a little bit of research to make sure that it's not some made up thing. The Tata, T-A-T-A, you see, in Cleveland, that meant something else, but that's crazy things happen in Cleveland. But here on the New Earth, T-A-T-A, it's actually code within the DNA, which has something to do with enzymatic creation process, I believe to do with lactase. You could look it up, Tata, T-A-T-A, box, DNA. There's really good video on YouTube explaining what this means. What was very interesting is that this Tata box, this T-A-A-A, but it's the Tata, T-A-T-A, is 33 letters from the zero, from the base code, the base letter, 33 spaces, 33 letters over. So I was thinking, okay, Great Spirit wants me to talk about the 33. See, 33 is a master number. It's very symbolic. It means many things. But the 33, we have 33 vertebrae of the spine, the 33 of mastery, 33rd, in Freemasons, they say 33rd degree. That's of the Scottish rite. The Masons were the builders of the pyramids, which is a story for another day, obviously. Many of these things have been hijacked by dark forces and manipulated, like most systems, most of these religions and practices. But it's a double-edged sword. We have good and bad with each thing, so we focus on the good, the good, because the 33. So we look at the perfect triangle, a perfect pyramid, 33 angles. There's 333. The 33 degrees of the angle, it's actually 33.333, something like that, 33. So you have 33, 33, 33. It's a trinity of angles to create the pyramid. You see, the pyramid means fire in the middle, pyre, like a funeral pyre, pyramid, middle, the middle, dandian, the middle heart, the heart chakra, also symbol of fire. See, the fire, the ancients saw that just the geometry of a pyramid, the geometry of a triangle, in the middle is a vortex. And that still center, the still white magnetic light at the center of all things, is a spiral, a vortex. And the ancients saw the vortex as the fire rising up. This is the ascension energy. You see the fire rises, the fire ascends, and the water descends. The water flows down, follows the path of least resistance. Both paths lead to source, lead to the still center. You see, the water path is the quick path, the path of least resistance, the feminine. The masculine fights against the current to get to the source. Which path you choose, the one that's very difficult and takes a long time, or the quick path. It's up to you. You could choose the fire or water. There's no right or wrong, good or bad with the path. All paths lead to the same source. But the key, the Gold Dragon Master encoded with me, that just pick a path and go all the way with it. So we have the 33. There's 3 portals, 3 centers to each of the Trinity, the 3, 6, 9. So the very esoteric Taoist tradition teaching Gnosis. You see the Gnosis, Greek for knowledge. Gnostic means person of knowledge. Those that seek the truth, that seek the knowledge of the teachings of the way, the Tao. You see, the Tao is the way. In Chinese, the Tao, Tao or Dao, 2 different ways to spell most Chinese words. So the brain, within the brain, which we say upper dantian or Shen Gong, spirit, the spirit works. So this is very esoteric. You probably won't read this in any book. This knowledge was transmitted to me by the Gold Dragon Master, the Taoist lineage of Kunlun. So the 3, we have 3, 3, and 3. So the 3, 6, 9, 3, 3, 3, this way. And right in the middle, see there's 9 caves of the brain, 9 holes in the brain, 9 sacred centers within the brain. And right in the middle of this 3, 6, 9, both ways, the very center in Taoism we call the crystal palace. You see, the Taoist master saw the brain in its unrefined state, in its unpracticed state, without the spiritual practice. It's like a ball of mud, just living out sequences and processing information until the initiate realizes I must find a path. I must choose a path, a spiritual path, an awakening path, and do my sacred art. See, the practices, regardless if it's Zazen, Kunlun, yoga, these practices are to fine-tune, to refine. This is a refinement process, a transformation process, transforming this mud ball into a crystalline structure. See, this is the process humanity is going through in this cultivation. See, we cultivate chi, we cultivate energy. We cultivate through our practices, through our qi gongs, our nei gongs, and our shen gongs. For each dantian, we're cultivating the energy, we're building the energy, we're storing in the cauldron, in our belly, lower dantian, up through the 3 become 1. So in the brain, we have these 9 holes. Maybe one day I'll draw this out on a whiteboard to show you the pattern. You see the spiral following these 9 caves, these 9 holes into the center. See the middle of the 3 here. You have the third eye, the crown, and in between the 2 in the middle we call the sky eye. This is the true center, the true vision, or we call the clear light of bliss, beyond the illusion, beyond the duality, which is connected to the crystal palace. Within the crystal palace are the sacred glands of the pineal and pituitary glands, the feminine, masculine. They're pulsing in different frequencies, different resonance. And then when we bring into harmony, this equinox is going to help to where the 2 pulse together. The 2 come into balance. The 2 become 1. The eagle and the condor unite. This is the Heros Gamos, the divine union, the unity. both within and external. The external is just a mirror of the internal. So our divine counterpart is a mirror of the external, what is happening, the process happening within ourself, within our physical vessel, within our mind, within our spirit. When we return to the one, the universal one, we call many things God consciousness, cosmic consciousness, Buddha mind, Buddha consciousness, the mind of God, your true self, your higher self. Many concepts pointing to the same moon of enlightenment. So we're going through this energy, through this equinox, into the Satya Yuga, the golden age, and we're anchoring in this higher frequency, the higher resonance, the higher density of 5D. Through our sacred vessels, we are Antakarana. The Antakarana is the rainbow bridge. You see, our rainbow tribe, you are all stationed all over this world in a very special place where you are right now through this great shift. You are the event energy. You see, the event happens through you. Once you find the kingdom of heaven within, seek ye the kingdom of heaven within you. That is your still center, your center point. We call the still white magnetic light at the center of all things, or the great central sun. There's a great central sun out there, and there's a great central sun within here. Within your heart center, you can feel it. It is one and the same. They are not separate. What is out there is in here, and what is in here is out there. It's a great mirror. That is the nature of the holographic universe. One piece is the whole. It's one piece as a representation, as a model. The microcosm and the macrocosm are one and the same. As a fractal, as a hologram. You see, that is what this simulation is, the simulation, the matrix. And you see the matrix itself, matrix, matrika means sacred water or holy waters. See, but that holy water got muddy, got dirty, but it's from that dirt, from the filth, from the mud, that the lotus seed anchors in, roots into the mud, all this thousands and thousands of years of pain, trauma, suffering created this solidity, this solid state, the foundation. There was a purpose for all this suffering. We all suffered greatly, through these timelines, through these lifetimes, creating that foundation for the sacred lotus, the gold lotus, to anchor into, to root into, to rise through the still waters, and to blossom and bloom in the heavens, in the light. See, this is the flowering of human consciousness. You see the flower, the lotus flower, symbolic of the crown chakra opening, the halo. The halo is the blossom, the bloom, the most sacred, blessed flower in the Garden of Eden. You see the garden, the mother's garden is the quantum field in which we manifest into and out of. The in-breath and out-breath of the universe is the expansion and the compression of consciousness, the holy breath. That's why our breath, our breathing, is one of our greatest tools, our assets, because we breathe in the holy chi through the oxygen, the oxygenation of this body, and it helps with the ascension energies, the ascension activation symptoms, whatever you want to call what is manifesting in our bodies, in our emotions, in our heart. So we're transforming our physical vessel, our emotional body, our mental body, our spirit body, which is the light body, which we're merging the physical with the non-physical. You see, the spirit is the non-physical aspect of our individual consciousness, and then the ocean of consciousness, which we are one with. And it's through this awakening that we realize our oneness with all life and with Source, God, Great Spirit, Holy Spirit, Allah, the Tao, whatever name you want to give. Doesn't matter the name. Truth is beyond all words, all names, all concepts, which is what we're realizing in this time of the great awakening of enlightenment. You see, for once one returns to Buddha, see, all beings are born perfectly awakened Buddhas, and then that Buddha consciousness or the angelic consciousness or Christ consciousness fell into the three hells, to fall into the suffering, all for the joy of waking up. The Buddha means the awakened one, a being, a consciousness that manifests into the illusion, into the dream, fell asleep in the dream, woke up, wakes up in the dream. That's what enlightenment means. You realize that I am, here now, in this body, where I always am. Pure awareness, we might call it. And in this pure awareness, we realize our true nature, which always was, is, and always will be Buddha, our awakened consciousness, Christ consciousness. I speak to many people around the world, many traditions. So we say one's not better than the other. We're eliminating this duality programming to step into true equality and see the beauty in all these teachings, see the beauties in all these things. So it came through as I prepare and I speak and I prepare for these transmissions and I go into the Tao and into the Akash. What came up today, which is going to resonate with some of you. The first master that I trained with over many years, I was 17 years old, a Tai Chi master found me and guided me to a Zen master of the Cleveland Buddhist Temple, Sensei Ogoi, Koshin Ogoi of the Cleveland Buddhist churches. He was Dharma brother to Shunryo Suzuki, who wrote Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. Dharma brother, Dharma sister, just simply means, Dharma in Sanskrit means truth or universal truth, ultimate truth, the truth that never changes, which is the only true truth. So the Dharma brother sisters means you trained under the same lineage, under the same Sifu, Roshi, Sensei, Guru, whatever name you want to give to the teacher, to the being that mastered the art that you're training in. That's all it means, simply. So Sensei Ogoi, he chose a different path than Shunryo, but they're both in Buddhism. But he was a Zen master and a Shin Buddhist master. So Zen and Shin are two of the main Buddhist lineages in Japan. Zen means meditation in Japanese. Shin was from Shinran. It's the Pure Land sect of Amida Buddha or Amitabha Buddha. So I was an initiate of both lineages, which the Sangha I trained under was the Zen Shin Sangha from 17, 18, 19 years old. Then over the years, I trained with shamans, sages, Taoist masters, Gong Fu, many different Qigongs and Gong Fu, martial arts and spiritual arts. And the last master I trained with, Qing Feng Dao Shi, many years in the Kunlun lineage. And I taught many of our people around the world this lineage of the Negong, of the water path of the divine feminine. Now he goes by Mujin Roshi of the Zen lineage. So the Cleveland Buddhist Temple, it was very interesting, 17 years old. It was in Euclid, in the east side of Cleveland. So I would drive from the west side to the far east side, and I would get off East 222nd. At the time, no one was really into numerology, not many people. Numerology has been around for thousands of years, but it's really come to light over the last 15, 20 years, especially since 2012, of that major anchor point in the space-time continuum running out of time here. I gotta wrap this up soon so I can get this out to you, edited and uploaded for tomorrow's special day. So it'll take a few more minutes, but I would get off at East 222nd, go up to Euclid Avenue, Euclid. And it was right across the street from the shrine I used to go as a child called Our Lady of Lourdes. Our Lady of Lourdes. It was in this beautiful portal. The Buddhist temple was right across the street when I was a child. I was born into very Catholic families, both of my parents, powerful Catholic people. My grandfather, who I've talked about in the past, Joseph Fry, my mother's parents, Mary and Joseph, very Catholic names, They were very good friends with the Eisenhowers, President Eisenhower and his wife, Mamie. You see, my grandfather, who's on the Wall of Liberty in Washington, D.C., he was a great warrior, lieutenant colonel of the Army Corps of Engineers. He was General Patton's right-hand man during World War II. His troops built the roads and the bridges for Patton's tanks. He was at Normandy when the West stormed Normandy in France. So it's very symbolic. See, Our Lady of Lourdes, there's one in Cleveland, the east side, right across from the Buddhist temple, in this beautiful forest. There's a shrine, there's a beautiful grotto, and then the stations of Christ, of the Christos. I actually shot videos explaining the true symbolism of these different stations the Catholics have. 14. Many Christians say there are 8 stations from Christ's, sentencing through to the crucifixion and all these things. So I filmed. I never edited it, but before I left Cleveland, I went to this portal to finalize some energies and anchoring of the higher light, and I filmed at each station. Can't remember if there were 7 or 14 there. It's been over 5 years since over 4 years, almost 5 years ago, where I filmed in this portal of the shrine, and within the grotto, the cave, the womb of Mother Earth. You see, so all these energies are coming back, so bringing me through this akash of these timelines that are convoluted, that are linked together, that are woven together. So we had this energy of another powerful synchronicity. So my grandfather worked directly with General Patton and General Eisenhower, who then became president. That's Laura Eisenhower's, I believe, great-grandfather, President Eisenhower. My grandmother was neighbors with Mamie Eisenhower. They were good friends. Talk about they would play bridge and have tea and crumpets on those Sundays, But my grandfather, Joseph Fry, F-R-Y-E, on my mother's side. My father's side, we didn't talk to for many years. They were his father, which is funny, I can't even remember their names. My grandparents on my father's side, because I didn't really know them. I think I talked to them once in my life, because the Vatican sent in psychopathic reptilian to try to destroy my family, which was part of my practice, how to navigate through the darkest energies that were in this realm. And my brothers and sisters, there were 5 of us. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters. They're all back in Cleveland. They're my greatest angels, some of my greatest angels in this realm. There were 5 of us, each one representing a different element. I was the youngest of 5. Obviously symbolizing the water elements. See, I came through the goddess portal on the 510. See, there's 5 elements, 10 organs in Chinese medicine and Taoist philosophy. So my grandfather on my father's side, he was very wealthy, Catholic, sold a big contracting company in Cleveland back in the 60s for millions of dollars. And once my mother betrayed them, they abandoned us and fed us to the wolves, but he bought a bunch of land in Wisconsin. They believed in Armageddon, the end of the world. So he was preparing his family, My father's family had many brothers and sisters. I think there were like 9 or 10 of them. I've met a few of them over the years, but I didn't see my father for 20 years or hear from him. And then he passed from cancer after a couple of years that I got to know him a little bit and hear some of these stories. But they built like a survival town in, I think it was Wisconsin, where he built homes and, you know, bunkers and all these things for the family to survive this apocalypse, you know, this cataclysm. He didn't understand the true meaning of the revelation, the true meaning of the apocalypse, the great revealing, the great unfolding. The revelation is revealing that which is hidden. You know, it's the awakening. There's no cataclysm. You know, the cataclysm already happened. The cataclysm was the disillusion of the false projection. Although we're still resolving all interference patterns over 5D, we're still in the process. We're not out of the woods yet, but victory is of the light. You see, that's when I saw my sacred condor for the first time, I knew at that point we succeeded. For I told my queen of 12D Venus of the Elven nation not to come into this realm until we won this battle, this war. You know, light versus dark, you know, the false versus that which is true, of the nefarious energy with the benevolent. But we're still in this process of resolution. For all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn mind of Buddha, and the more of us, of our 144,000 original wave of ascension, the more of us that live from our heart to practice our spiritual arts, that live in the love and the truth of prime source creator, infinite source. The more we heal humanity, the more we heal the earth, the closer we get. We're very close to this breakthrough, this compression breakthrough. And we feel that this next few days through the equinox and the 21st, 22nd, and the 23rd, this culmination point of the sacred condor of the divine feminine into the 510 portal will be this final transition, this final transformation, the final purging, cleansing, each day in every way. I am getting better and better, more energy, more power, more love, healing the physical vessel, healing Mother Earth. As each of you heal the collective, you heal the earth, you heal the world. You see, God created the earth and man created the world, and the world is on fire. Divine feminine return, the goddess returned. She is here. You see, these timelines overlap. My sacred condor and I joined timelines in 2017 in the etheric and the energy, and met in 2020. Took 3 years of ceremony, of healing, for her and I to reunite through the portal of the 2020. So also this energy, one final thing which is coming through, it's just been brought to my attention by my sacred condor, the Earth Alliance, all our people, the symbol of the X, this X energy. You're seeing it all over the internet. Elon Musk changed the, you know, as you all know, the Twitter to the X. We see XRP all over the internet, which will be the quantum financial system. See, the quantum, see, X marks the spot. See, my sacred condor taught me the other day about Generation X. You know, see, my whole life, you know, we didn't follow these generational things. We talked about baby boomers and that because that was our parents. Many of my friends were baby boomers. It wasn't until recently, I believe, probably after 2012, when the Mandela effect, I call it the mandala effect, because this world is like a big mandala. You know, the universe is like a beautiful mandala, as we're tapping into different compartments, you know, from the compartmentalization through the recapitulation, returning all aspects of ourself into this one. You see, so it's 2012 and beyond. So she was explaining, you know, this Generation X, and she's what they call millennial Y, so X, Y, and then Gen Z. You know, I didn't realize that. I don't really follow trends too much, but I realized, okay, I was this what they call Generation X. It makes sense because, you know, through the 70s and 80s, this X, you know, which is the cross turned sideways, that X over the earth, the longitude, latitude, the equator, and the prime meridian, you know, create this X. You know, it's a cross just like our body, you know, the central channel, and then through the middle, we have a longitude, latitude, which create the cross, but you turn the cross sideways, the tilt creates this X. X marks the spot of this great abundance. You know, they always say X, the treasure is on the X, because that's how you can pinpoint the exact center. It's very important. And also X is 10, Roman numeral 10. You know, the Roman numeral is X, so 10, 1 and 0. This is binary code. The binary, the yin, the yang. You see, the mathematician that created binary code, all computers run on binary code. It's behind all the coding. It's the source code. It's yin, yang. You see, it's a switch, on, off. On is the 1, 0 is off. Emptiness form. And that's simulation within this box, within this computer, within these devices. It's binary code to create all that you're experiencing in the simulation. And computers, 64-bit, there's 64 codons. So the mathematician that developed binary code, he got this from the I Ching, which is, I talk about when we speak of the gene keys, the I Ching. There's 64 hexagrams. Hex is 6. There's 3 and 3. 3 above, 3 below. Heaven, earth, yin, yang. Also switches. It's a solid line, a broken line. So the solid line is yang, which is the 1. Yin is the broken line. It's the switch. It's the off position. See, through all this time, that's why we say flip the switch to on. The switch of benevolence. You see, the Earth Alliance, symbolic of this shift once we are freed. This is our freedom. This is the exodus, freedom from all nefarious systems, from the Babylonian debt slavery system through this greatest transfer of wealth, which is coming. We see this coming to free our people from these slavery systems, you know, these debt systems that keep people struggling and suffering and a lot of stress. You know, most diseases are caused by stress. You know, when the body's under great stress, a little bit of stress is okay, but the stress that humanity's going through, it's causing many, many problems. Many relationships are broken because of stress, and many of them lead to not money problems. You know, over the years, I've known many, many, many thousands of people, you know, including my own family, but that was another story. You know, we were raised and we went from great wealth to great poverty, and then spent most of our life in that rat race and struggle and, you know, whatnot, but all for the lessons, all for building this ethics, you know, this work ethic and honesty and, you know, playing in the system but not being part of it. See, that's what means I am in this world but not of this world. I navigate through these energies, but I'm not trapped by them, you see. Because once an individual becomes truly conscious through enlightenment, through the awakened state, they never have to fall asleep again, unless if they choose to, but they always live. See, Buddha, you see, quantum physics teaches that there are infinite timelines, infinite dimensions, and you exist in each one of those timelines. So in one of those timelines, at least one of them, you are Buddha already, and you can merge your consciousness with that timeline. They're truly not separate. They're in the seemingly separation through these veils, we can only live one life at a time. Mind can only be in one body. Some people can bilocate, but that's different. Most human beings live in one vessel. You see, the Zen master Sensei Ogoi transmitted a koan. Koans are riddles that lead to the truth. He would say, born alone, gone alone, come alone. So you always hear this born alone, die alone, this, pessimistic view, but it's not pessimistic. Realizing that there's one consciousness means I came into this body one, alone, no other being. Yes, you might have guides and angels and all these things, but you know what I'm talking about, the one consciousness that came into this body by itself. I'm not talking about multiple personality type things. I'm talking about, a healthy body, a healthy mind that has this individual consciousness that it comes in, and then at death it leaves by itself. Now there's people that transition together, but the body, the silver cord just attached to you, you may reunite on the other side. That's also free will. That's up to you to reunite with your loved ones, which most of us do. Some might choose to be alone. It's none of our business, but us, when we have these beautiful relationships, beautiful children, husband, wife, whatever, that this is part of our vision for New Earth. See, this final transition is to free all sentient beings, which is all life, all humanity, from samsara, which is the cycle of birth and death, these cycles of reincarnation. We're here to create the Pure Land together. The Pure Land is the land of the West, the land of Amida Buddha. This is symbolic of heaven on earth, earth being conscious, heaven unconscious, or emptiness in form. So we bring the two together to where we create together the physics of immortality, of eternal life. And we do this together, realizing our oneness with all life, with all beings, with all things, living from our heart in Christ consciousness. This is what Christ means, living in love, in an elevated state, with an open heart, free from all this duality, free from the simulations, from the programming. So thank you all for joining me today. I'm going to end this on that note. Hope you have a most beautiful, blessed, sacred day of ceremony, of life. Live each day as the best day ever, like it's your final day, knowing that this is it, here now, in eternity. For this is eternity. Namaste. The eagle and the condor love you all. Aho.